This course
All right. Let's see. I think I'm gonna do some strikes. Maybe. Um, I mean, in Destiny 2 again at season rank 32. As you can tell, I'm taking my time. I know people probably already finished their season pass already. Um, I am trying to unlock the next artifact. I'm real close to it. Um, so I'm just doing some bounties. And there's a machine gun in Gambit that I'm kind of interested in. I probably won't get it until the end of the season, but I think I'm going to jump in now um, and just see how it goes. Um, so one of the things I was thinking about is, um, while I'm playing, I typically like to listen to podcasts, or I'm looking into, you know, writing. So I have a course that I was going to listen to. It's only like 13 lectures, um, basically on editing, different levels of editing, just to bring it into my mind a little bit. And I probably shouldn't be playing games while I listen to this. Probably need to have an open notebook and start, taking notes. But I don't know. I might go ahead and start.
Vex on the field.
Let's see what speed I want to listen to.
Last time I
I
fought
think
the Vex,
1.25,
wrote their
a little faster.
No
I'm
one
gonna listen to
survived.
this lecture as I play.
is targeted to fiction writers, but if you're telling a true story about real people and events using the stylistic elements of fiction, such as scenes and dialogue, you're also in the right place. This is called narrative nonfiction, and memoir, biography, autobiography, and personal essays are examples of this genre. To keep things simple, throughout the course, I'll refer to fiction and narrative nonfiction as narrative writing. This course isn't targeted toward prescriptive nonfiction, such as business, self-help, or how-to books, although you may find some useful tidbits that apply to you throughout. Now let's look at a scenario I see often. You've more than likely had this happen many times in your writing life. Imagine you've just completed a novel. It feels great to be done with your rough draft, and you're so excited about it that you want to dive right in and start editing and rewriting. You zero in on one of your favorite chapters. You start editing, focusing on fixing typos and making sure your sentences flow nicely. You spend a full day working on that chapter, making sure every little detail is perfect. The next day, you spend another 7 or 8 hours editing another chapter for the fine details. The next day, the same thing. After a week of this finely tuned editing, you think, okay, now that I've gotten these chapters into great shape, maybe I'll reread the entire book to see how it all fits together. And that's when the trouble starts. As you're rereading your entire book, you start to realize that the chapters you spent so many hours painstakingly editing need to be completely reworked, or even cut entirely. Maybe they're slowing down the pacing, or the character or plot development isn't where it needs to be. In short, the problems are much larger than fixing typos. All the hours you sat hunched in front of your computer screen making detailed edits and rereading the same sentence over and over again were for nothing. It's one of the worst realizations in the world, and some writers end up feeling so defeated by it, they give up, put their manuscript in a drawer, or it disappears. Why does this happen to so many talented writers? Well, even though we're taught the fundamentals of writing in school, we don't learn the fundamentals of editing. When I was a student, all the way from elementary school to being an English major in college, I didn't understand that there were different levels of editing. My teachers and professors would hand me back a graded paper, all marked up with strange-looking scribbles in red pen. There would be notes focusing on broad items like move this entire section earlier in the paper, all the way down to tiny details like this word is spelled wrong. That's what I thought editing was throughout my entire life as a student. A one-off, one-time, huge list of all different kinds of feedback written in that infamous red pen. It wasn't until I became an editor that I learned that there were different levels of editing, and that it was crucial to complete them in order, from the big picture to the little picture. As you can see, without having a clear understanding of what the entire editorial process should look like, Editing your own writing can quickly become a drain on your time and energy without much of a payoff. The good news is that you can avoid these kinds of headaches and heartaches and turn your self-editing process into a well-oiled machine by understanding one of the key secrets of the book publishing industry: 4 levels of editing. These levels, in order from start to finish in the editorial process, are developmental editing, line editing, copy editing, and proofreading. Before we go into what each level entails, however, it's important to know that the terms I'm about to use are fluid in the US. If you put 10 editors in a room together, it's likely that they will either define these terms differently or use other terms entirely. You'll also come across synonyms like substantive or structural editing instead of developmental editing. What's more, many people outside the editorial industry use these terms incorrectly or broadly, such as referring to copy editing as proofreading. But don't worry, this doesn't have to be as confusing as it sounds. Once you understand each level of editing and its primary function, you'll be able to look past the words used to describe it and instead see where it falls on the path from big picture to little picture. To represent this visually, think of a large triangle divided into 4 levels. At the base of the triangle, its foundation, we have the first level of editing, developmental editing. This level looks at the whole work. It examines the biggest picture possible and analyzes how well your work is functioning as a whole. If you think back to a graded paper your teacher handed you in school, examples of developmental edits would be notes like, "You're missing a conclusion," or "How does this section relate to your main idea?" The 3 pillars of developmental editing for narrative writing are structure and plot, character development, and pacing. Characters are the #1 priority in narrative writing, and not just for fiction. If you're writing memoir or autobiography, you might think you don't have any characters, but you and the other people in the manuscript are handled like characters. So all of this applies to you as well. No matter the genre, you can have an excellent, well-crafted, tight plotline, but if your characters aren't compelling and believable, no one will read it. For example, if I asked you to give me a beat-by-beat plot summary of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Hound of the Baskervilles on the spot, or any of the other Sherlock Holmes stories, you probably wouldn't be able to do it. But if I asked you to tell me about Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson and what their personalities are like, you could. We read for character, and that's how we take away from stories as well. In fact, a lot of the true developmental work of characters should come before the rough draft is written. Coming up with backstories, writing voice journals, and discovering who your characters are is a critical piece in making them seem real to readers.
All right, so I got a key from Gambit. I think it's the fastest way to get keys, other than, say, Crucible. And I want that machine gun. It's a Void high impact machine gun. I think I have one on me. Is that it? No. I wouldn't mind getting another one of this strand linear. But I had one drop the other round. I haven't actually tried it out. Now, unfortunately, it's not craftable. And the only way I can see getting a good roll on it is to play a lot of Gambit, reset. A lot of times you get multiple perks after you reset 2 or 3 times. This particular build is pretty good at clearing ads pretty quickly. And I'm working on trace rifle and the submachine gun perks and art, and sword. I have all these things equipped, but I'm not getting a lot of sword kills, obviously. It's just the nature of playing. I probably should run a Gambit Ghost. Gambit is Vanguard. I stopped running that, didn't I?
Enough fooling around. Hi, bring a sword. The Hive died
Over the course of this course, you learn written rough drafts. So we'll approach character development by learning how to spot common errors and tweak your characters to help them be even stronger. Almost The author needs to complete this kind of revision on at least one, and possibly a few other characters after the rough draft is
Drop
written.
those moats in the bank.
After character, developmental editing looks at the structure and plot of your narrative. Structure is the backbone of your entire work, and is based on turning points that need to happen at specific points in the story, like the setup, climax, and resolution of the classic 3-act structure, or the 12 stages of the mythic structure, popularized by Joseph Campbell as the hero's journey. There are also more unusual structures, like the non-linear structure, where events happen out of order, and the reverse chronological structure, in which the entire story is told finish to start. Even if your story has one of these structures, it still needs turning points to maintain tension and keep things moving. Editing your own work for structure means checking that all your scenes are in the most effective order, and every story event happens when it should. You'll want to be sure your work uses this structure to its maximum potential, heightening tension and compelling your readers to keep turning the page. The word plot can be anxiety-inducing for many writers, but at its core, plot is simply what happens to your characters and how they react.
Yeah,
It relies on
we're
your
gonna
characters
lose.
having strong motivations, making decisions.
You see people greedily going
Many
after
writers
us
find
like
it
that.
helpful to think of plot as a seesaw of cause and effect. A character acts, something happens, the character reacts, and so on. Editing for plot revolves around ensuring that the plot points, or beats, push the protagonist to transform. As you revise your plot, you'll also make sure pacing. Pacing is something many writers struggle with. It requires a big picture view of your work to be able to cut sections and even entire chapters that are slowing things down. Alternatively, you might find that sections of your work move too quickly and tell too much, when it would be ideal to slowly build the tension. Like the other aspects of developmental editing for pacing relies on you being able to put yourself in your ideal reader's shoes in order to see where they might start to get bored and anxious to skip ahead, or confused and in need of more detail. Of these 3 pillars of developmental editing in depth in this course in a slightly different order, and we'll also examine other topics within developmental editing, such as point of view, scenes, showing versus telling, and dialogue and interior monologue. Developmental editing is the most misunderstood level of editing, and although it seems to cover an overwhelming number of large-scale items, the key thing to remember is that it forms the foundation of your self-editing and needs to be completed before moving into the next phase, which is line editing. Line editing is the next level up in the editing triangle as we move to the linear picture. Some people refer to it as stylistic editing, but whatever term you use, this kind of editing focuses on the paragraph and sentence level of your work. Line editing looks for clarity and flow in your writing, and its main goal is to make sure your prose is clear and engaging. An example of a line edit you've probably seen on a graded paper from a teacher would be those 3 little letters AWK, pointing out an awkward or clumsy sentence or transition. Whereas developmental editing looks at how the entire piece of writing works as a whole, line editing polishes your prose. This level focuses on transitions, run-on sentences and paragraphs, syntax, or how sentences are structured, rhythm, tense, and removing cliches. A line edit also addresses any confusing action or logical flaws, such as a character who enters the room and then enters the room again 2 sentences later. A line edit also works on punching up the writing by using varied sentence and paragraph lengths, replacing passive voice with active voice, and omitting unnecessary or bland words, sentences, or paragraphs. It often involves a lot of cuts and deleting large sections of code, and it's at this stage that you should be looking for passages that are overwritten or meandering. This level of editing also examines your word choice and removes words that aren't suitable for your target readers. Line editing serves as an intermediary between developmental editing and copy editing. Note that this level does not fix things like grammar, punctuation, consistency, or spelling. These corrections need to wait until the copy editing stage. For some writers, the line editing phase can be overwhelming, and it may be hard to know what to focus on. That's why I recommend that you practice editing for one thing at a time, working your way from the bigger picture to the littler picture. This could mean starting out by looking for passages or sections that can be cut entirely, then adding any missing transitions, then focusing on fixing tense shifts, and finally, removing overused words. The trickiest part of line editing is resisting the temptation to correct every typo or mechanical error you come across. I know that perfection hurts well. Practice ignoring typos and tiny mistakes and favor the bigger picture. If you skip ahead and focus on the tiny details before doing a thorough line edit, you risk wasting time and effort on passages that may need to be cut entirely. Instead, be disciplined in your editing. Focus on making your prose as efficient and elegant as possible, and save the mechanical stuff for the next level up on the triangle, which is copy editing. Copy editing is probably the type of editing you're most familiar with. This level of editing focuses on correcting grammar, usage, and spelling, but it also looks at things like hyphenation, capitalization, numbers, quotations, abbreviations, and acronyms. The majority of the red pen notes your teacher put on your graded papers were copy edits. Consistency is the name of the game with copy editing, especially when it comes to how words are spelled. There are alternate spellings for many words within American English, including the word copy editing, which can be written as one or two words. Those spellings are correct, so it's just about choosing a dictionary you prefer and sticking to it. If you're writing in British or Canadian English, you'll want to make sure you're spelling lines with that specific dialect. For example, in British English, the word color is spelled C-O-L-O-U-R. Other things that copy editing strives to make consistent are how words are hyphenated and capitalized, and how you're using numbers. For example, do you write out all numbers up to 100 or just numbers up to 10? Copy editing also looks for something called internal consistency, which makes sure that character and plot details remain the same throughout the text. If a character has red hair on page 9 and blonde hair on page 90, that's an example of a problem with internal consistency. The biggest difference between line editing and copy editing is that copy editing involves an in-depth understanding of the mechanics of the English language, and it should always follow something called a style guide. Two of the most widely used style guides in the U.S. are the AP Style Book for journalism and the Chicago Manual of Style, which is mainly used for fiction and nonfiction books, essays, and short stories. Style guides are critical in copy editing because, unlike some other languages, English doesn't have a standardized set of rules to follow. You could spend hours trying to figure out how to make a word ending in S possessive, for example. Should you just add an apostrophe, or does it need to be an apostrophe S? Google won't help you here because there is no one correct answer. It depends on the style guide you're using. Writers run into these dilemmas all the time, and they can be extremely frustrating. Familiarizing yourself with a style guide gives you the fast answers you need to these types of questions. Since we're focusing on narrative writing in this course, you'll want to follow the Chicago Manual of Style. Most authors aren't interested in getting this granular with their edits, however, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with leaving the style guides to the professionals. In fact, even with the help of a style guide, doing a true copy edit of your own work is difficult, if not impossible. Professional copy editors hone their skills for years, and they still hire fellow copy editors to look over their writing projects. Think back to a time you were editing your own writing for grammar and punctuation. At what point did you notice you were skimming the text and not really reading every word? At some point, did you feel like you couldn't see it anymore? This is how typos and other errors sneak through, but it's not something you're doing wrong. It happens to everyone. Our brains simply aren't wired to catch our own mistakes. This is because instead of reading and processing each word in a sentence, our brain combines the details to form what we would expect to see. This helps us comprehend material faster when we're reading a textbook or studying for an exam, but it also means that when we try to copy edit our own work, our brain skips over the errors because we don't expect them to be there. And if it's hard to catch our own typos, it's 10 times as hard to catch our own factual errors. Fact-checking is the final part of copy editing, even for narrative writing. For a novel that's set in a specific period of time, for instance, it's crucial that everything in the story, slang words, fabrics or clothing, foods, products, types of media, and much more, fits within that time period. And this is where things get tricky. Most writers aren't going to accidentally have Victorian-era characters watch TV and check their Twitter feed, but subtle factual mistakes can easily slip through. Let's look at 3 examples. First, let's say the scene of your book is set in the summer of 1989. Your protagonist is watching Twin Peaks, but that show didn't premiere until the spring of 1990. Or perhaps a musician character in 1910 says he's going to a jam session, whereas that term wasn't coined until the 20s. And finally, that 1995 Jeep Wrangler your heroine drives, it shouldn't have round headlights. Wranglers from 87 to 95 had square ones. As we've seen, copy editing encompasses a lot, and it requires an in-depth knowledge of style guides, grammar and usage, internal consistency, fact-checking, and more. This is why I recommend that you complete a few rounds focusing on these items as best you can, and then hand your manuscript off to a professional. Of course, we won't teach you how to copy edit, but we will do some myth-busting of popular grammar and usage rules, and talk in detail about your next steps after you've finished editing your manuscript. Now let's move on to the final level of editing, proofreading. We've made it to the top of the triangle, and now we're focusing on the finest details possible, or the extreme little picture of the work. Proofreading is another level of editing you shouldn't do yourself, and that's why it isn't included in this course. This is another stage where even editors hire editors. This is because you absolutely need another set of eyes on your work at this stage to make sure you catch all the leftover typos and other mistakes that you don't want in the final print version, as well as problems with layout or design, inconsistencies in page numbering, or other formatting details if you're self-publishing. Formatting problems would include things like bad line breaks, gaps in the text due to a word failing to hyphenate correctly, or text overlapping an image when it shouldn't. It would also include eliminating widows and orphans. Although typesetters often disagree about the exact definitions of these terms, a widow is usually a single word on a line all by itself. An orphan is the final line of a paragraph at the top of a page. Both are considered faux pas in the typesetting world, and proofreading when things like this are corrected. Proofreading shouldn't add anything new or change much. Instead, it only looks for the tiny leftover problems. Remember when I mentioned that many editorial terms are fluid in the US, and they're sometimes used interchangeably? This is the main one I was talking about. Many people, especially those in the corporate world, use the word proofreading when they mean copy editing. Following the publishing industry's standard definition, proofreading is only done on a manuscript that needs professional typesetting or graphic design. After the typesetter or designer finishes their work, they send over a proof to be proofread. For a book, the proof could be a PDF or InDesign document showing exactly how the pages will appear in the final book, complete with things like printer's marks, margins and gutters, running heads, and page numbers. The proof is the polished work in its absolute final form. If your finished work won't need to go to a professional typesetter or designer, if, for example, it's a piece to publish on a blog or submit for a writing class, it won't go through a formal proofreading stage. This means that, no matter what they called it at the time, your teacher never technically proofread your paper for school. That was copy editing. If you've written a book that's going to be traditionally published, you won't need to worry about doing this level of editing yourself. The publisher will take care of it. If you're self-publishing, it's always ideal to hire an outside proofreader instead of trying to do this level of editing yourself. This is because, yet again, our brains just can't catch our own mistakes at this tiny level. And if you're self-publishing and you decide to hire professional help for both copy editing and proofreading, which I recommend, it's best to hire two different people, the professional copy editor and the professional proofreader. This is the standard in the editorial world, and most copy editors worth their salt won't proofread something they've edited. Proofreaders also have a different skill set than copy editors and are masters of their specific trade. But in general, the more you have in your work, the better. And there you have it. Now you know the biggest secrets of the editorial world, the difference between big picture and little picture editing, and where the 4 levels of editing fall on this spectrum. This isn't common knowledge in the writing community, and there is a ton of confusion surrounding the editing process as a whole. Understanding what these different levels do and how they work together gives you a huge advantage over writers who are trying their best to edit their own work, but are focusing on the small details too early. Even if you plan on hiring a professional editor at some point, the more work you're able to do on your own, the more your editor can focus on the little picture of perfecting your writing. This will save you time and money, and it will also result in a much better finished product. And as we've seen, the order of operations is critical. Even though editing your own work is never easy, it will be much more efficient and a lot less frustrating if you use your knowledge of these 4 levels. Just remember this golden rule: always move from the big picture to the little picture with your edits. The key to masterful writing is editing, and by starting this course, you're already ahead of the curve. In the next lesson, you'll learn when to start editing and how to develop your editor's eye, along with some common myths about editing your own work.
All right, I'm going to take a break from that effective writing. Just talking about the copy editing kind of reminds me of all the shit that goes into writing that people take for granted. I sometimes forget exactly how complicated language can be. Like, I'm supposed to know all this stuff. The fact is, no one really does. Even though editors hire editors. Good point. Okay. Oh shit. You did it again. Oh, I saved myself that time. I went the wrong fucking way. Alright, I'm gonna listen. Sorry. I'm gonna listen to my podcast real quick.
But I mean, sorry, we're way off topic now. But I have to say, I was in Lisbon a couple weeks ago, and I went to go see Oppenheimer, and the woman sitting next to me was eating popcorn so loudly, I was going out of my skin. But also, I just come back from a retreat. I think my sense of very so that's on me, I guess. I just didn't think things through, and I actually couldn't finish the movie, which I have to go back and buy another ticket and finish the movie because it was just too much. It was a disaster. Anyway, shall we get back to the real villain?
Yeah, I think a lot of us are screaming yes, slash hitting the forward 15 seconds, but let's get back to the other pickle here. What I was trying to say was, I don't see what you have to gain by being close to your grandpa. In fact, I see a lot of pain and continuing to be part of your life. Ain't nothing that really too much to your amazing. If you say the family line,
anyone's response here would depend on where they are in their own grieving process, in their own healing process, right? It's your aunt and you, and you're apparently forgiven her father, but that doesn't mean you're back to you. And maybe we'll get to that point, maybe not. As Maria put it to us, discovering this kind of information is shocking, and everyone's on their own path to understanding it and processing it right away.
candidly, Dave, I'm just having a hard time believing that this aunt has forgiven her father. I'm probably the end that might be like if I have
She did write that book about all this. Maybe that was her big deal.
okay, maybe I get it, and I think it's remarkable she's such a big all this. I can see what it's you're doing, but dude, her father's name is number on her. This is where I'm having a problem with it, okay? Not just how you know, forget that. That's not what really did my defense. It's not like the therapy. He had this big breakthrough where he was like, oh my god, I have serious trauma. I can't believe that. I've done all these sorts of things. I've been there for years. And so I'm doing what they said. I just feel like it's not going to be my family. My family is coming out of this next year. It's not at all. I mean, if you're so empathetic and enlightened, right, then you know what it took to get to that end of empathy, enlightenment, forgiveness, and all. Imagine if you expect another person to be a girl in your family, someone who maybe has done more than all of
Right? So this is, again, to your point, it is still happening.
Yes, look, if I were the child whose kids were also abused by their grandfather, I'm feeling that everywhere. I'm not going, oh, well, I guess my sister slash cousin, whatever, she's okay with it, so I can't do that. I'm like, oh, you can be sexually assaulted by your grandfather. You know, I understand that you say my kids were abused in this way. I'm
Our friend here can have her stance and her experience, and she can allow everyone else like her to have theirs, which is credit she's already given. And then you go, how can you cut grandpa off? Your heart bleeds, you're just an old man, you're confused, you're troubled, whatever saying. I think you just have to let it roll off your back. Or you can say, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. I can't have a relationship with this guy, and I struggle to understand why he can, but if you want to do that, I respect that you want to go a different way.
I'm sorry, Dad, but Doug Jordan says I have to murder you now. I would have a hard time not chewing out my family members who are being on the side, there's a guy who we don't know unless we're there, or people who don't know. She didn't say that she's unloading on the road. This is her hard walk. This also has a terrific information article at sexualtrauma.com. Highly recommend reading that. Very high opening for you right now. The crazy good deals and products and services that support this This episode is sponsored in part by Text Expander. I love this freaking app, man. Last week our team saved an entire day worth of typing. A day. We save a day a week of just typing. Every week, Text Expander comes in and typing. There's hours of typing out becoming a team. Like, there's great calendar notes, commonly used phrases, never type an app and one letter. Phone number, my phone, something I'm sure doing this, you got the calendar list. I have Text Expander. It's keyboard, but on freaking fire, wrap lines, and I asked it this, and unfortunately, manually ingest the stress I'm getting inside baseball.
So I continued. This is my longest break, only 6 months.
Okay. I think I still have my Gambit Ghost on. I just realized that. So, see if there's anything else I can do. Nightfall, which is Lightblade. Lightblade is one of my favorite strikes. Let's see what the modifiers are. Strand and Arc Surge, so I could definitely go in there with this build. Overcharged grenade launcher seems really great. I'll probably run the Leather Horde and Barrier probably. Barrier Unstoppable. Okay. Let's go to the tower. All right, I had to lower the volume of this. So,
Oh, we're getting there.
put an intellect armorer on because I see myself maybe making some new builds with higher intellect. Mix and match here and there. I don't want to pull those Vanguard emblems, so I'm thinking about opening like 2 more exotic programs. Well, I think I'm going to be focusing in soon. That's the major problem doing the intellect thing is it always gives me so much mobility. Um, I've been doing a lot of resilience mods, so I mean the other one would be recovery. Just this mod here. I think I do get better stats when I roll recovery. So like a lot less mobility there. And I still got some intellect. That's actually a pretty decent roll. So I could hold on to that. But that's, I'm trying to build up some engrams in Zavala's inventory so that toward the end of this season, I can decrypt or focus some of these engrams into the weapons here. So, like, I really don't need that pure poetry. This is one of the new weapons, which I'm not really care for. So, high impact sniper, it looks pretty cool, but not really. Style. Yeah, all right, so let me take a quick break, and I will be right back. All right, I'm back, and I had some time to think about my loadout, and I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to do an LFG on the Destiny companion app. We'll see how it goes. Question is like, what difficulty? Do I do a Master Knife on this early in the season? What do I have? +8. See what the 1820 isn't that much below what I'm at right now, right? I'm just 2 below. All right, so yeah, it'll be more difficult, but so I'm definitely going with Listener for the barrier. And would I do Unstoppable with a fusion rifle? I don't know. I mean, I got that. And probably have a better grenade launcher, huh? So that one has chain reaction and explosive light. This one's auto loading explosive. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. Ooh, yeah, I gotta infuse the fusion rifle.
Press the PS button for details.
All right, so plug one. Hmm. See what the threat is. thread is probably arc. I mean, I know that. Arc surge. Strand surge. Arc thread, yeah. So I guess the other thing I would want to prevent is void, I guess. I mean, there's everything in there, but I'm just thinking about the ogres and uh, yeah, I do want the reinforcements. Okay, let me double check the artifact. Okay, I think that might do it on the artifact because I'm not doing a strand, doing all arc and these communal pickups and that. I don't know. We will see. Um, I'm concerned that the fusion rifle doesn't have enough distance to deal with unstops. Blind did something, but no, no, blind does not do anything. All right, let me go to orbit and see if I can't find a team.
Resolve them and be strong.
This is probably going to be miserable. I think I have the best loadout I can come up with, but yeah, like the swamp is pretty scary. I'm hoping I have enough speed with my bow to deal with the shriekers that are on either side of the boat. Because my bow will be the only thing that can reach them. Maybe I should do a different heavy. Yeah. Yeah, if I could, machine gun, so I can have more range. I'm gonna need that. I won't have as much takedown power, but on that note, I might swap off with the pulse grenade. Does more damage, and I'm going to need that on some of these. All right, so let's check app. Okay, it's got an update. God damn it. Having to reload. Can't type. Hey, I'm in. All right. Reload out that. Shit, everything looks different now. Interesting. Nope. We put a add out master. Nightfall. So it's a barrier, master nightfall barrier unstop. At night to PlayStation. Rock. I do have a microphone, but I don't think I have it on. Okay. Yeah, I can mute my microphone right there. I don't really want to talk to him. It's kind of odd. Why is it not? I think the video on my computer is stalled. Let me reboot. I think this thing is okay. Yeah, I think my video stalled out for a second there. All right, I want you to see this tragedy. Yeah, this would be horrible. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, okay. That's cool. That's the fusion I want. Infinite loop. That would be a lot better. Okay. Ooh. It's running tether, but hand cannon for overload and trace rifle. It doesn't make sense. Trace rifles. I mean, that's a good looking trace rifle, but okay. Doesn't do anything for overloads, as far as I know. We don't even have overloads. I don't know. I try not to be too picky about people's loadouts, but this guy has a higher light level than me. Well, not really. He's running that. Okay. We got two wish enders. This should be okay. I'm going to stick by him. We should be able to do something here. So be prepared for a bloodbath. Just let me know. First nightfall of the season is usually bad. You know, you get out of practice. All of us are under light. You know, I'm running Vesper in a bow to try to keep my distance. I have fastball on my grenade, so I can also keep a distance with my grenade tosses. We will see.
Temple of Oryx is protected by one of Sabathun's toughest warriors. He's guarding something you can use, like you use Sagira's shell. But the only way in is through some old canals, which means we need a boat. Leave that part to me. Hey, that's our guy, the one guarding the temple. What's he doing away from his post? This could be our chance.
Okay, I see you, baby. Got the guy to leave. That's the fuck alone. Oh shit. Fuck. What the fuck? Fucking name. What the fuck? Okay. I might have to do that. Let's go.
Look, back there. The path is unblocked.
Okay, well, that was bad. But I've seen worse. I've seen nightfalls fall apart in that room. So.
There's your ride. You just hop on and I'll handle the rest.
Yeah, definitely glad I switched to a machine gun.
Finch, why did we stop?
I don't know. Didn't expect this. Little hiccup. You can get that barrier down, right? Sure you can. Hey, you did it. Good job. Oh, it's on the move again.
Fuck. Fucking hey. I knew this boat part was gonna screw with me, but really? I almost never die here, so
Finch, we're stuck again.
Seriously, but I did the thing. It's just this hive tech. It's so archaic.
I don't even know how to get out of there. What the fuck? Oh boy. Jeez. Oh boy. I hope it's no bad.
Okay, we're getting close to the swamp.
This will get pulled into the
Temple's not
swamp.
far from here.
You said this is a temple to Oryx?
Yeah, that's right. Savathun's brother, the Taken King himself. Those two killed each other about 1,000,000 times over, but she dedicated a temple to him. It's funny how that works. Now be careful here. Something happened to this place. It's overgrown with darkness.
I can sense light here, though. I just can't see it. Maybe there's a safe path through.
Okay. God. There's no fucking radar either. I just realized. Oh. These people are sadists. Gotta be kidding me. We're not even gonna get any light either. What the fuck? It does have an ammo limit in this vehicle. Oh, dear Jesus. Uh, I hate how they restrict your movement in here. It's just so incredibly oppressive, right? But playing with these guys, they showed me I've never gone against the path like that. Like I usually go to the lanterns, which
Looks like we're all clear, Finch. We're heading in.
yeah, it's just annoying.
The knight guarding this place? He's an old rival of Oryx, and he's no joke. Pretty funny that Savathun has him guarding Oryx's temple.
Doesn't stop. Oh, fuck. Ooh. Nice. you in all your eyes. um, we're about to be in for the fight of our life. Oh shit. The light blade. Boss room. Oh, master. Oh shit. It's been a while since I've done this one. I'll skip this one because typically it's just not worth it. At least you're not on attrition. That martyr bullshit. Impact, I can't remember. Blackout, basically. Uh-oh, here we go. Ah. Sucks. I'm scared about my own rift. I heard the electric sound, thinking it was a champion sneaking up on me. Okay. What the fuck? Oh shit. Come on. Show me that eyeball. Oh shit, there's a. Let's stop. The champion. Okay, hold on. Oh, fuck. Fuck, man. Fuck, that would have killed me if it hit me. That's crazy. Okay. Oh, baby. Oh, shit. Stay alive. What? Oh my god, what the fuck? Fucking acolyte killed me. That's not a bad idea going with this, though. Wow. Okay. Holy shit. God, dude. Ugh. Master Nightfall. That was something else. I haven't done Master Light Blade probably since it came out because I was just like, one time was enough. That was not a bad experience compared to some of the previous ones. Like, we only wiped twice. That's not bad. We didn't wipe in the first room. I had that happen before. Yeah, those guys are pretty good. So, um, so I did put a link to Greg's live stream in the description of this live. I'm not sure what his program is going to be about, but he often just pulls from his mailbag. He gets a lot of inbox messages on social media from the show. They're usually the perfect type of situation. Yeah, I mean, I wish that we had like a powwow beforehand. I should probably hit him up. Say like whatever the subject is, like shoot it by me so I can like, summarize it, put the talking points, like facts, so that because he's usually streaming on Growler while we're live, and he's not able to read the messages. But like if he were to send it to me and I process it and put it in the chat, I don't know, make it work. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I usually start with the news, and I've already listened to some of it this morning. Most of the talk is about Trump's arrest, some of the, reactions to the mugshot, reactions to the Republican debate,
You'll return honors.
the Maui reconstruction and issues, things they're finding out. Apparently, the power company was actually hiding evidence of some of their downed power lines. And, that's going to be a thing.
Greetings.
It's funny about the Republican debate. It's funny, when they talk about the Overton window and how crazy now looks like normal, because Nikki Haley talks about a 15-week abortion ban as if that's a compromise on a nationwide level or something. I don't quite understand that. And then going into how, the stimulus created all of the, debt that we're in, which is true, but it also kept us out of a recession, right? Like, obviously. We're still at near full employment right now, and it's as they're raising interest rates. It's crazy. So that's just the thing about politics and the truth. They don't really mix. And it's funny how the crazier someone is, the more attention they get. I think I would go for range. It's opening shot. I can infuse on this. 4 times a charm. It's kind of cute, but I can infuse right here on this auto rifle here. So yeah, the Wish Ender was a great addition to that line. I was thinking about using Arbalist and using like a scout rifle front stops. I might do that next time. Thinking about like, do I want to play this on my other characters? Maybe. I don't know.
Our theology is like agriculture.
It was kind of rough. I mean, and this is one of the better bills that I can run in there. So, I don't think I unlocked any weapons. I don't think I
Let's
did.
begin.
Should probably have my Vanguard Ghost on, I guess. I wouldn't mind getting this. And Warden's Law, of course. It just brought that back. A new bow. So that hand cannon bow. It's another solar bow, which is kind of weird because we got this one right here in the same frame as well. It's kind of odd. Anyway, on that note, I am going to bid you adieu. I appreciate you watching, and I will catch you in the next live stream. Peace.